Hello and welcome to day 95 of 99 Days of Deeper Embodiment. My name is Jason King. I'm going to pause for a few moments and wait for others to join. Hello, Ganga. Welcome. Hello to whoever's joining. Welcome. Welcome to whoever watches this on replay. Welcome. Welcome to 95 days of 99 Days of Deeper Embodiment. Just taking a moment to really become very aware of now very aware that all there is the awareness of now, the awareness of this moment. And that you are this awareness always, untouched by any thought, by any imagination. And from this place of very clear awareness, all thoughts are seen as they arise, yet there's no moving into any thought because your consciousness stays present here, now. So seeing that there is this awareness, and this awareness is what is seeing everything, and noticing that you are this awareness, recognizing that you are this awareness, you can also then see when this awareness is pulled into thoughts. And this is very important. If you cannot first see that you are this awareness, then you never notice when this awareness is pulled into thought. And every thought that arises, you simply move into with no seeing, no recognition that you are awareness and that thought is pulling you into it. So it's very, very, very critical. In fact, there is no ability to embody at all if there's no ability to see yourself as awareness and recognize when you're being pulled into thought. Recognize how the mind is moving. See how the mind is moving. Because to embody is to dissolve all of the old identities and the old ideas of who and what you think you are and what this is. And as you're dissolving that, then what comes into the body is your wholeness and completeness. The awareness that you are is always whole and complete. So there are ways to imagine this as far as the technical aspects of embodiment, viewing the body through the different dimensions and the energetic aspects of the body. So zooming out, I can see that the body is a geometry within awareness. And that this geometry has a way of forming itself so that a world is manifest around it. And so that awareness flows through the circuitry of the geometry in a specific configuration. And so if you remember in a previous video, when I mentioned that within awareness, within the self, which is awareness, the idea of source arises. The idea of source and the source connection then creates the idea of God. And the idea of God actually has two lines. It has a male line and a female line, a father God and a mother God. And these connections are two very distinct energies from your own source connection that come into the circuitry of the body from the source connection, which is at the top of the head, or the crown, if we're looking at it from a three-dimensional perspective. As these lines come into the body, they drop into the heart, into the high heart. And here in the high heart is where they connect to the idea of you, your identity. And we can call this the beloved, the child, the beloved child, child of God. Now, in the high heart, this child of God connection then hits another geometry, which is a triangle, and that triangle connects to your two kidneys and forms a base. And this base supports the entire structure. So, imagine, if you will, that at some point in the history of your inner child, in the history of your timeline, that you experienced a trauma, something that caused you to not trust your mother or your father, and both. So you lost trust in mother and father. And when you lost trust in mother and father, this severed your connection with Mother, Father, God within yourself. And your divine child, your beloved, fell deep down into the gut, into the lower chakras. And this entire structure collapsed. And so now, as this structure collapsed, then as you're in the world and you're experiencing the world, everything that you're experiencing is from a place of, I don't trust, I don't trust, I don't trust. And so your identity is one of a shadow child, a child which is covered up by a shadow. And that shadow that covers up the child is one of not trusting the world, not trusting the universe, not trusting anything outside of yourself. And so it's always protecting itself and then attacking, because attack is defense. Now, recognize this shadow, what this shadow is distrust of God, distrust of your own God self. Your own God self. Because remember that God extends from your source connection. Your source connection is what is manifesting your entire reality. Your entire reality revolves around you, around your consciousness, which is viewing. You are observer, observer is viewing. So now this child, which is covered by this shadow, that has fallen deep within the gut, and now the body lacks the stability that the geometry provides it when it is connected with Mother, Father, God lines. Now the body gets tossed and turned by all of the ideas that are in the field around it. So now the geometry of the body has an inherent instability. And this instability makes it feel as if there is a separate self, as if you are separate from what is, as if the world is an unstable place where you must constantly defend yourself. Meanwhile, it is you that is creating the world. It is your manifestation. So, the idea that the world is unstable is simply something that is inherent in your mind. Your mind is believing that. You are believing that the world is unstable. So where is the instability? It is in your mind. It is in your beliefs. Now, the structure that I'm pointing to is your mind. I am showing you the structure of your mind in a way that you can see it energetically related to how it forms your body. So as we're embodying, what we are doing is we are realigning the mind with the truth of Source, with the truth that you are Source and Source is to be trusted. And we are teaching the mind, guiding the mind back to this truth. Initially, there's so much mistrust and there's so much trauma to be felt through that it can be very difficult to get to a place of trusting yourself once again. To teach the mind that you are trustworthy. And as you show the mind that you are trustworthy and that you are Source, then what comes up to be felt is the rage and the anger at having ever betrayed yourself. And then what comes up is the betrayal. So it's all layered. It's layered. Oh, I'm feeling through the betrayal. I'm feeling through feeling and betraying myself. I'm feeling through the anger of betrayal. Wow, why did I ever betray myself? Oh my goodness, that feels very heavy. And you see, this is all your mind now realigning with source here. And all of the timelines in the history that have been created in your past of having ever doubted yourself, purifying themselves out of the body. So, the more that you continue to remind yourself, I am source, I am devoted to myself, I am devoted to source, and just continuing to align yourself with that, your geometry begins to align itself with you, with what is true, and it pulls up all of that collapsed configuration which has created the instability, and your entire reality begins to pop back into place. It pops back into alignment with the truth of you. And quite simply, this happens all on its own when the focus is continually brought back to truth over and over and over again. Up, I see it. Up, I am awareness. Up, I see that I am awareness and that I am wholly and completely fulfilled here and now. Now, to stay seeing that is what is complicated. This is not easy at first. It's quite difficult at first. So it requires a lot of effort at first. And so that is why there's a lot of tools. It's like, okay, yeah, this isn't easy. And there's a lot of ideas here. There's a lot of ideas that have accumulated over many, many, many lifetimes and generations of distrust. Because my parents and parents before them 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 all did not trust themselves. And so that got programmed into the mind that is moving this body. And so, no, it's not easy at first. It requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of continuous course correction. Up, nope, up, nope, look. You're a source. Oh, trust. Oh, yes, trust source. Okay, okay, yes, I got pulled into thoughts. Thoughts told me that I could not trust myself. I began moving from a very heavy thought. Okay, come back into me, align, see that I am source, trust again. Dissolve that idea. Okay, dissolve that idea, dissolve that past idea, move back into source. Who am I? I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Now I'm back into unknowing. I'm connected with source again. And so now from this place of unknowing, I can begin to feel into what is here. As I begin to feel into what is here, then I'm connecting with this holy and wholly fulfilled future version of myself, which gives me guidance, clear and direct guidance from me, telling me how to move so that I continue to unwind this mess of past ideas that have been moving me, that tell me that I am not source and that I cannot be trusted. And if I cannot be trusted, you cannot be trusted. If you cannot be trusted, then no one can be trusted. Then the government cannot be trusted. Then the universe cannot be trusted. The earth cannot be trusted. Nothing can be trusted because I'm not trusting me. You see? So if I'm projecting an external God, and when I believe that there's an external God, and that this God is a vengeful God, or this God is a demanding God, and that this God is a God that cannot be trusted, then that is just me not trusting me and projecting what it is that I cannot touch within myself externally and saying that it is not trustworthy because I am not actually being able to trust myself. So I have not embodied there. So remember, whatever it is that you're seeing external to you, that you are having feelings about, that you are feeling a certain way about, that is showing you, it is pointing to where you yourself have not yet embodied. And so this is an opportunity to become more embodied. This is an opportunity to look and see, what is it here that I need to give myself, that I'm looking for externally? So let's say, for instance, I'm looking for an external God. I'm seeking in different religions. What does that tell me about what I'm not giving myself? I'm not giving myself inner authority. So I'm looking for authority through external ideas. Okay, beautiful. So now I can come back into me, begin to dissolve all of those ideas and concepts, and start to get in touch with that inner authority within me, that inner knowing within me, no matter what it takes. Because if I see that I'm projecting it externally, then that shows me what it is that I'm not embodying within myself. And so that is a potential area of evolution for me. I can become more evolved in that area. I see it. Oh, look, I'm projecting that externally. I actually want this within me. So how can I give it to myself? What can I do to give myself this? What can I do to teach my mind that it's already within me? What can I do to guide myself through the process of embodying this aspect of myself? The God source aspect in this example. And so this is just one example. There are many, 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 many examples of where we are not embodied and where we can potentially embody. Because if you look around you, look at the way that the world is and see how much power we are giving to external ideas. And that much power that we are giving to external ideas and to an external reality is that much opportunity there is for embodiment. Whatever it is that you are looking for external to you, that is showing you that there is an opportunity for embodiment. That is showing you that you can evolve more in that aspect of yourself. You can evolve to see that that aspect of yourself is actually within you, and that you can touch that within you, and that you can bring that power back into yourself rather than energizing the ideas. You have that ability. You can do that. Now we say, go directly to wholeness and completeness, and this does it all, and this is true. If you can stay focused 100% of the time, all the time, even when you're sleeping, on your wholeness and completeness, and you can feel this as the truth all the time, then every single idea that wholeness and completeness is found outside of you will come up, and you will feel through that very, very rapidly. And you will find that wholeness and completeness is something that is each internal to you, that there is no external reality, that you are all of it, and the entire structure of your body will align with that, and it will automatically embody all on its own this fundamental truth, which is the only truth. All other relative truths will be purified out. And what are all other relative truths? They are all ideas that are limiting the one truth, which is your innate wholeness and completeness. You are it. Existence itself. However, let's be honest. Can you focus right now on your innate wholeness and completeness 24/7? Is that something that you are doing? If you can, if that's something that you're doing, then shut off this video and just do that. don't even bother with anything that's being spoken about here. Just do that. Do that. Stay right there and don't move. However, if that's not where you're at, and you're finding that your mind is being your consciousness is being pulled into a lot of thoughts, your mind is tugging at you all the time and is bringing you into thoughts all the time, then this video is for you. Then you need deeper embodiment. That is what is pulling at you. You need deeper embodiment. Your soul is pulling you towards deeper embodiment. Recognize there is a soul pull, and then there is the pull of thoughts, which are ego pulls. Okay, an ego pull pulls you into thinking that you need something external to you. An ego pull tells you that you're lacking something and that you need to find it external to you. That's an ego pull. A soul pull is pulling you deeper into you, deeper into the knowing that you are all of it. That's a soul pull. So a soul pull, it pulls you towards this video. It says, yes, this is from me. And so as I'm speaking, then what this is doing, it is reminding you, it is the voice of your own self, the voice of your soul speaking to you. A soul identity is the identity that is the last identity to dissolve before you dissolve back into the self, which is all. And that identity is not confused about what it is. It is the wholly perfected self. It is you. It is not confused about what it is. So imagine that there's an eggshell of a soul identity around this identity of a body. That identity is the future version of yourself that is wholly embodied, wholly perfected. In that sense, it never lost its wholeness and completeness. It is always touching wholeness and completeness. And so every time you move back into being here and now in presence, you are connecting with your soul level knowing of your innate wholeness and completeness. And that identity, that future self, is able to guide you through unwinding whatever ideas, whatever karma there is here, which that's what karma is. Karma is all of the ideas that accumulated when you dropped into this place of distrust. When the beloved no longer trusted Mother, Father, God lines and dropped into this place of mistrust, karma began to accumulate. And what is karma? Karma is when you move outside of yourself looking for something that is actually a part of you. And so as you do that, then you get into entangling yourself with other realities, energizing the worlds of others. And you get caught up in their worlds and you begin to accumulate karma, which is karma is saying, okay, I'm going to take that from you and you give this to me. And now we all have these ideas that are interchangeable and intertwined and it's all mixed up. Okay, wonderful. So your world is no longer just your world. Your world is your world and your husband's world, and it's mixed up. Okay, wonderful. That is karma. So now unwinding that, and coming back into yourself requires the guidance of your soul. It requires your soul, which has the ability to see it all, to move you and show you how to move so that you unwind all of the quantum entanglement that you have found yourself in over the course of many, many millennia. Now, this is not as difficult as it sounds. It's not as difficult as it seems, but it does require you to do the work. It does require you to go in. It does require you to receive all the parts of yourself that you have left scattered throughout different timelines. It does require you to collapse those timelines back into yourself. And it does require you to restore your body's circuitry so that you are then, once again, in yourself, embodied. And so all of this begins to happen automatically the more that we focus on what is true, the innate wholeness and completeness that is you. And as we focus on that, which is the self, whole and complete, then all the places where we don't feel whole and complete come up. And as they come up, the idea is to see them and not move into them. But if we do move into them, then have tools to come back into here and now, to come back into wholeness and completeness. And those tools vary. They can be quantum healing tools. They can be somatic tools. They can be tools where we're intentionally creating containers of practice, like I shared with the 7 days of superabundance. That 7 days of superabundance allowed us to embody an aspect of the self. And so that can be designed for anything. And once we have this strong connection with who and what we are, and we can go in automatically on our own and ask, hey, whatever it takes, I'm here to do the work. I'm here and I'm devoted fully and completely to my embodiment. I'm devoted fully and completely to myself, fully and completely to being Source God within my own reality. Tell me what is the best practice right now for me and how to create it. And then you will tell yourself what it is that will assist your mind right now in aligning itself with the truth of you. Now, the mind that is addicted to external stimulus, the mind that does not want to move inward and that is very resistant to moving inward, the mind that wants to continue to run victim games in consciousness, that mind is not going to want to do this. That mind is going to say, oh no, I want the world to be the way that I want it to be. I want you to be the way that I want you to be. I want you to behave this way. I want that person to behave this way. I want God to behave this way. And this is a tantrum. This is literally a tantrum. Okay, so imagine a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum. I want. That consciousness right there does not want to take responsibility. It does not want to see what you are. It does not want to empower. It does not want to embody. That consciousness right there wants to stay stuck. It wants to stay small. It wants to stay covered up with a shadow that is blocking you from seeing what you really are, that you are really source. It does not want to restore the devotional circuitry. It does not want to move inward and be what is true. And so if that's there, if that's what you're playing, if that's what you're believing, then have fun with that. Enjoy. That is an exploration. And it is an exploration of chaos. Enjoy. You are now a chaos creator. Wonderful. But if you're done with that, you're going to recognize it and you're going to say, oh, my goodness, what am I doing? I'm going to take responsibility for my inner world, which is taking responsibility for my outer world. Let me be honest with myself. Let me get humble and let me figure this out. I'm going to learn how to do this. And then with the understanding, trust is regained. And as you begin to trust, then what comes in naturally is that feeling of wholeness and completeness, which is where all the happiness is, which is where all the joy is, which is where everything you've ever really wanted is, but you thought that you wanted it from something external to you. Only to find that anything external to you is your own manifestation anyway. And so if you're thinking that something external to you can give you what you're actually looking for, then you're mistaken. Gravely mistaken. That is a severe distortion and a huge misunderstanding. So it's okay to feel anger come up around this. That's very natural. This is very good. You're moving in a positive direction now. Feel that. Yes, yes. You have betrayed yourself. You let yourself down. This is true. Feel that. Let yourself feel that all the way through. Just jump into the energy of it. Jump into feeling the betrayal. Jump into feeling the anger. Get through that. Push through it. Feel it all. Feel all the energy of that so that you can come back into yourself here and now, fully present as you are, 100% embodied, taking full responsibility for your world. No longer allowing others to hook into your heart center, forgiving yourself fully and completely, removing all of those plugs, all of those worlds that you've been energizing that are not true, that are not aligned with what it is that your soul is here to manifest, what it is that is the light of you, the light of your soul. Look within your soul, find that light, and bring that light forth. There is nothing or no one external to you. I am just an idea that you are energizing towards you because there is a soul pull for this information. So allow it to remind you of who and what you are. You are God's source. You are sovereign and you are free. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow. I love you so very much. Bye-bye.